Hello friends, welcome to Kiss Up Cards, Keep It Simple Stamping Up, and welcome to Scrappy Summer. So that's what I'm naming this, Scrappy Summer. I'm setting aside the templates and the Tuesday template and the Thursday tip time, and I'll reintroduce that back in the fall, but I thought, you know what, it's summertime. Let's do something that is really fun and takes care of the scraps that we have in our stash. So one of the things that I showed you was a while ago when I did a tour of my craft room. I'm just going to take you down for a minute and show you. What I had shown you was this here. So this is my cart. See my cart? My bottom shelf doesn't do much, just holds stuff, but this is my cardstock stash. I use that a lot. I find bits and pieces in there. But then I always had the designer series paper up in this top part. But I was always going through it. I couldn't find what I wanted. So I took all of it out and I donated it to my daughter's school so that the kids, because I just didn't even want to sort it because there was just so much of it. So they'll use it for projects and they'll have lots of fun with it. So then I thought, well, I'm going to start from the beginning. So I put my stamp set in here. That used to sit on the floor in a basket at my feet. So now I have it right here at my hands. So I really enjoy it. So what I do now is so all my designer series papers are in file folders. I have them labeled and I have them in the bottom of a trolley that I bought that holds the paper. And so inside the file folder, I put the scraps back in with the paper that I used. So this is by the Bay, which is one of my favorite paper packs. And so I put all the scraps in the front and all the paper, the other paper, in the back. And so that's how I've been keeping my scraps. And I find that, for me, is much better because then as I was preparing for Scrappy Summer, I just sat and looked through my file folders and I'm like, oh, this one has a lot of scraps. Okay, I will use that. And they coordinate really well together. Whereas when it was all in one pile, I was constantly searching, and this is just more efficient, better use of my time and putting like products, paper together. So that's what I'm going to do. So today we are going to start with a card that's all squared up. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So join me on this summer adventure of Scrappy Summer, and let's use up our scraps, but we're gonna still make really beautiful cards using up all those scraps. So join me at my craft table. All right, we're down here at my craft table, and I've got my cutter out because I'm going to need it. So I did a template, and I've said this many times, that if you're going to make something, make a template. And so I started cutting 1-inch squares, and I put that on here, and I have 5 1/4 by 4. I could have made that a little smaller yet, regarding matting. And then and this is 1 inch. I have another plan, but I just wanted to see how this would work. So I've got 3 across and 4 down with the squares, so I could go like this. So I'm going to have 4 squares down, 4 squares down, and 3 across. I didn't have to cut out all the 1-inch pieces. I just wanted to see how they would fit. So they fit really well on this piece of 5 1/4 by 4. So I have this with this piece. I've already gone ahead and cut that. So taking my scraps, I'm going to look at the scraps that I have. I'm going to punch seashells in the sand on the tag, on the sentiment tag, So this would go really well. The gold is really pretty as well. So I have a few little squares, so I'm going to cut those into 1-inch squares. All of that looks really pretty. So I just go looking for the smallest pieces that I have. That would work as well. This would work as well. And just looking at the colors. And so this is oh gosh, that's beautiful too. So I will start cutting. Now when you're cutting from a strip, it's a little easier. These are 1-inch strips. These are not 1-inch strips. I did do this on another project and I did 1.5 inch. Well, let's see what that looks like on here. 1.5 doesn't even fit on here. So that's how you will learn to do things. All right, so we're going to need 3 times 4 is 12. We need 12 squares. So what's the other side of this look like? Oh, that looks pretty too. So we can flip it around. So this is just a really great way to use up your, and 1 inch looks pretty small, but you can still get, like, look, I got a whole seashell on there. 1 inch can give you still a good amount. So I'm just going to keep cutting these into 1 inch. And then this I will just toss. So there we've got 3, and we can flip one of those over. Probably this one. Then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to get that to 1 inch. That is not even cut straight on this side. It's kind of a little curved. All right, so cut that little bit off and let's keep more of the gold. So you want to just look at what you've got as well. Now I won't keep these little strips. So let's get that bit of gold in there. And that'll be too small as well. These are really cute pieces as well, and colors. And the same with this. I went through my cardstock, which I have, and I just, okay, what am I going to use for my cardstock? And I just use scraps as well. So lots of good things that you can use scraps for. I love this, has just a little shimmer. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to, oh yeah, you can see that. I hope you can see that. Just a little bit of shimmer. So I think I want that more at the top. All right, so we've got 2, 4, 6, 7. Let's cut 1 inch from here. Whoops. Yeah, it moved. And is that 1 inch? Perfect, they're both 1 inch. I think I only need one though, but the other one can be used in another project, maybe not even cut into 1 inch squares. Got all kinds of projects in mind for Scrappy Summer to use up these little bits. And it's always good just to take some time. I've, done a number of projects, and it's just good to go through what I did was I went through my file folders and, oh, okay, so this one by the bay had a lot of smaller strips in it. And I think I'll use 2 of those. I think I'm going to use this. Let's get this into, and so I thought, okay, I'm just going to leave those out. So I have a pile over here. I think you can see some of them there. So I have a pile of file folders that have, you know, lots of bits and pieces in it. Scrappy scrappy scraps. And we're going to use those. I think I want a little bit more blue in here because I'm using a blue background. Oh, this is going to be perfect. Look at this. I may have more than 12, but depends how. All right, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Excellent. 12 on the nose. So then I can put my cutter aside. I can set all of this paper aside and bring in my blue paper and set this aside now because I won't be using all of this, but I will probably be using it in another project. What I've also learned when I was organizing for this is when I'm putting my scraps back in, to keep the scraps more or less in the front so that when I want to grab just the paper, that'll be at the back and the scraps will be at the front. Maybe if I had a divider in here, that might have been better, but this is what I have for now. All right. So my card is going to be a portrait, and I'm just going to lay these down. Don't think I want two golds in one row. That looks good like that. This has got a whole shell in it. Oh, I've got a little pattern going there. This is kind of a cool pattern. This is. And then just plain. So you can look at this and think, I like that. Maybe I don't like that. You can rearrange things. Wondering if I want to do like this. I think I put a couple of squares in here. Let's see. Oh, there, this one. Well, maybe I want one more of these. There, I like that. So we're going to glue these down or use your Stampin' seal. And I think what I'll do is I'll use my mat, my silicone mat, because nothing is going to stick to that. So I'm just going to lay them down. I'm not going to push them down because I want to make sure I've got. And it's a little hard to do that with the glue. Do I want these running straight up and down? Well, I think I want it running this way, because the glue would adhere. Now I have 1 inch on here, but I could have gone smaller on my mat as well. The mat could be as big or as small as you want. And if you're not sure about matting, go back to my video on Matting 101, and it just talks about measurements and how to measure and what it looks like. Those are fish. I guess it doesn't matter how they're swimming. So this is just a great way to get rid of those little pieces. They're not a waste. They make beautiful cards. It's just knowing how to use them. And I'm going to show you all summer long, because it's Scrappy Summer. I think I'm going to put this way. How to use your scraps up. Got all kinds of different ideas, different shapes. Now I can see I have not secured things down. They do stick. So I'm just going to eyeball. I have it really close here, but really far here. So I think I may move that one kind of adhered, didn't it? Oh, I did it myself. So I think I'm going to do it that way. And then I just line them up. So I've got everything lined up and adhered. Now, if there was a part of this card, like I find that this corner is a little higher than this corner, I may cover that with ribbon or with my tag. So I'm going to make my tag, whoops, I don't want it from the envelope, from like with this. Actually, I think I'm going to change my mind. I think I'm going to do, we've done circles or squares. Let's make a circle. And this represents waves. It's kind of wavy, so let's do that. There we go. What happens when I change my mind? That's good. So we need a sentiment. All right. I forgot to get my sentiment out. Put it on my little block. Whoops, wrong way. So I've got this out as well. So I think I'm going to do my sentiment in blue. And I'm going to get my espresso out. And I'm going to do this first, the pearls, the seashells and the sand. And this is first generation, this is second generation stamping, and this is third. So with my ribbon, I'm wondering if I want to do a bow up here, and maybe I want to do a double bow. Let me see if I can get this. Oh, that's going to be, whoops, that didn't work. Let's try that again. All right, 2 loops. Loop it around and then grab both of them. But I made that one tail too short. All right, let's get this a little longer because it is quite thin. I could easily double loop it. That looks really cute. Get my scissors out. That's going to be adorable on there. All right, I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. it looks good like there. So some of it does get covered up. And then I'm going to put the bow here and get some gems. That picks up the green that is in there. These are really pretty, so pretty. And I need a glue dot for here so I can attach the ribbon. So grab a glue dot from there. And put the ribbon on there. And take my pick tool, which I showed to you guys not too long ago. And just get my gems off like this. Oops, stick down. And there we go. So here we are at the beginning of summer. It's the beginning of July. And I've brought to you all squared up. So we did 1-inch squares on a mat and then adhered that to the card. And so as I shared with you, you could mat that 1 or 2 more times by making this mat smaller, putting the squares closer together, and then putting another piece behind it and another piece behind it. If you're unsure how to do that, go back to Matting 101, one of my earlier videos. And so we've just dressed it up. Then I finished the inside of the card, and I finished the envelope to match as well. So that is Scrappy Summer. So this is what I'm going to do all summer long, just on Tuesdays and Thursdays, bring you a card that you can put together that is very easy and simple, because that's what I'm all about, keeping it simple and making it still beautiful that you would want to send it. Speaking of sending, I want to share with you that I have been really good for the last 2 weeks sending cards out. And you know what? It does something for me as well. As I'm thinking about sharing kindness 1 card at a time, writing those cards, addressing them, stamping them, putting my return address on it, it does something for me too. So it's a two-way street. It's not just doing something for the person we're giving it to, it does something for us. I think there's serotonin levels that just were rising up in me, and that's always a good thing for us, to have our serotonin just pumping through our bodies. That's just my scientific blurb about cards and doing that. So yeah, just keep joining me for Scrappy Summer and doing the cards. And I've got I think I've got more than 2 summers worth of cards planned, but I do like the idea of Scrappy Summer and using up those little bits and pieces just so we can get the greatest value out of our paper, because it's beautiful. It does cost money, so let's use it efficiently and wisely. So I want to thank you for joining me, spending some time with me, especially during the summer season where we're doing things, and it's a great time of year. We're more relaxed and we get to hang out with friends and family and do special trips, or just stay at home and have a staycation, or plant a garden. There's so many things we can do in summer that are great. But also remember to share kindness out 1 card at a time.